Hello, welcome back. This is the last week of the self healing method. We'll be studying today together step 6, which is positive affirmations. So, just to remember, right? I want to remind you, in case you haven't watched the other videos yet, this is not any type of replacement for medical treatment or counseling or therapy. So this is something to support your process of healing. So if you're going through any medical treatment, you want to make sure you continue. And if you need medical treatment, make sure you seek services, right? Medical services. As we begin, I want you to stop and learn how to be present. I know with so many issues and problems in life, we often stop being present. So I want you to take a deep breath, elevate your thoughts into something bigger than you that can right now help you in this process. I want you to really feel what's happening right now around you, where you're sitting, the noises, and everything that's happening around. So I want you to really be present and forget for a little bit everything else that you're going through or maybe bothering you. Okay? So I want to, first of all, I want to congratulate you for winning over everything that stopped you from completing this project. I know many things in life can really prevent us from finding our best. And you got to this point, so congratulations. You were able to really succeed 6 weeks of self healing. So don't feel bad if you didn't follow all the steps or if you didn't follow everything. So this project today, we also going to analyze right what happened and do a little evaluation of all the 6 steps. And this is a process where even though you're finishing today, you will be able to go back and start over. This is not something that you have to finish today with this project. Okay. All right. So, first thing I want to tell you, it's really we are creators. And then you can see that this final step, it's kind of a little bit of everything we've learned. I know I've mentioned that before, right? So from in the book in the domain of mediumship life in the spiritual world, right, by André Luiz, he says this: from him we inherited the faculty of creating, developing, nurturing, and transforming. So when we were created by a superior power, we inherited several faculties. So you are also a creator. You can develop, nurture, and transform yourself, your life, and your environment. And we do this all the time. And sometimes we don't realize. For example, if you get a piece of wood, you can reshape and turn into a chair or any other object. So we first start in our minds, but then we can work with our hands, nurture our creativity, and transform objects in our lives. And the same way, we can transform our own body, our organic life. We can transform the space that we are living in. And Andrelis also says this is a psychic process, right? And it's the one that conditions all the phenomena of organic life within itself. So, really, your psychic process is the one creating and changing everything that's happening in your body. It's like we have several organisms together where we are building every day and changing our individual organic life on a daily basis. And you know how it works? With our thoughts, right? Our mind can create a good environment for us to live in, or the opposite, a negative environment. So it really depends, what are you nurturing every day. So are you nurturing a good environment for your organic life, or are you on the negative path on a daily basis, really creating a difficult process for your body and the organisms in your body to live in? So it really depends on you. And remembering a little bit about the last step, right? Step 5, where we talk about water molecules, and Dr. Masaru Emoto. So he had and please go back there and really uh, have a better understanding, because will explain better what happened in the prior video. So you can go back there and look at. But pretty much he did a research on water, and he explained that depending of which words he would attach to the water, he was able to get a beautiful shape, right? Crystallized, or a very ugly and shapeless process with the water. So he realized that words could impact the water. And if you think about, if our bodies, right, are above 80% of water, imagine our thoughts on a daily basis, what they can do to us, right? To all the 80%. So it is really up to you to transform this water in your body into a healing process with your positive affirmations, which is the topic of today. So we are immersed into this very intense negative environment where people are criticizing us, we have stress, we have problems, we have issues with our spouse and children. We don't stop necessarily to create a positive environment consciously, because the areas where we are living in will not just by itself create the positive environment for us. So we can really utilize our abilities to create a in shape a better environment for our organic life. And we can do this through the positive affirmations. So I will suggest here 4 steps for you to make it work for you, make those positive affirmations work for you. Step number 1, make a list of your negative thoughts. So write it down. What it is that's bothering you, what it is that's there. And I can give you an example that happened to me. So when I was young, I grew up in Brazil with the believe that you had to have a straight hair to look beautiful. So I really hated my curly hair, because I keep, hearing people tell me, "Oh, your hair looks like a broom. You can clean the floor with your hair." And I had people creating nicknames because of my hair. So I felt terrible. I grew up in an environment people would criticize me on a daily basis because of my hair. And eventually I learned about positive affirmations, and I decided to start really creating a new environment. And today I love my hair, and I look in the mirror and I think, "Oh, thank you, creator, for giving me this beautiful hair." So many people out there don't even have hair. And I have this beautiful hair for a long time. I hate it. So it might not be your fault that you have this negative internal talk. It might be that you were exposed to people constantly telling you negative things and you interiorize that process and now you keep repeating to yourself. So make a list. This is step number one. Write it down, your negative thoughts. If you have way too many thoughts, I would say in the beginning you might have way too many. Pick five of the most important ones. They're the ones that are really bothering you. Now the second step, step two, write out a positive affirmation for each negative one that you created. Any one that you noticed, any negative one you notice, you now will replace with a positive one. That's exactly the opposite of the negative one. So, for instance, in my case, if I say I before said I have a terrible hair, now I say I have a beautiful curly hair, and I'm blessed with this beautiful hair. So, step three, you 3 times a day you will speak for 5 minutes those affirmations and you're going to repeat for 5 minutes. Speak 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, evening, and you start for 5 minutes, only 5 minutes of your day. You will repeat those positive affirmations. And step four, while you are repeating the affirmation, I want you to create a positive image associated with that positive affirmation in your mind. So when you're saying, for example, I have beautiful curly hair, I want you to really imagine yourself with this beautiful curly hair and loving it. I want you to imagine yourself loving it and being rewarded for having this beautiful curly hair. In the beginning, it may feel awkward because you don't believe what you're saying, but your brain doesn't know what is true and what is not true. By repeating it over and over again, your brain starts accepting it as truth. And by doing that, at some point, you will really, really incorporate it into your life and start accepting that. For instance, in my case, I had a curly, beautiful hair. So, 4 steps, and you will practice this. So, after the first week you worked on it, you will pick 5 more if that's the case. And keep doing that over and over again until a moment you will realize that those things become natural and you really feel that way. Don't feel embarrassed if in the beginning it doesn't feel right. That is normal and you will feel that way. But continue doing and believe that the process works. So this is the process for this week. After you complete this the 6th week, you will do an evaluation of the process, right? I want you to question yourself, how was the process? And I'm going to go over some questions, for instance, that you can use during this process. So first of all, number one, do you have your notebook? So the first step, we required you to have a notebook. So do you have it? Did you ever buy it? And are you keeping your notes? If not, ask yourself why. Remember, this is not a judgment. This is a evaluation of what you're doing that is really preventing you from achieving your goals. Are you, for instance, self-sabotaging? What it is. So you analyze and you make a decision. Question number two, did you come up with your individual project? Remember, we asked you to have an individual project. And are you working on your individual project? Are you doing things, even small things on a regular basis to really get to your individual project? If not, I want you to ask yourself and analyze why. Why you haven't done this yet? Number three, are you noticing when your thoughts are causing you harm? Are you paying attention when your thoughts are really bothering you? If your answer is no, I want you to explain to yourself the reason. Why you haven't noticed when your negative thoughts are harming you. Number 4, do you have time to communicate with your source of power? Remember, we ask you to every day stop and connect and communicate with your source of power. Are you doing that? Are you doing that during the right time that you decide? If not, I want you to explain to yourself why you're not doing it. Number 5, are you following the steps, right, that we suggested? Delivered, trust, accept, and thank. Are you listening to your answers? If not, try to explain to yourself the reason why you're not doing it. Number 6, are you in charge and managing your health? Remember, you're talking about you are your own therapist and you are the one in charge of everything that's happening to you. Are you doing it? Or are you allowing other people to decide what is good for you? So if you're not, try to explain to yourself the reason why you are not in charge of your health or managing your health. 7, I want you to use the following classification: great, good, okay, and poor to evaluate the quality of those things that I'm going to mention to you. Diet. Is your diet great, good, okay, or poor? What about your sleep? Are you sleeping enough? So use those 4 classifications to decide. What about medication? Are you taking the right medication? Did you communicate with your doctor? Right? What about exercise? Are you doing the exercise that you're allowed to do? What about physical hygiene? Are you, showering regularly? Are you, changing the sheets of your bed? Are you doing things that are brushing your hair, brushing your teeth, and doing the things that are good for you? What about your mental hygiene? Are you working on your mental hygiene? Are you really working on your thoughts and things that are good for you? Remember that we talk about the note. Every time you and I in a good place, you would watch your notes and go back and replace anything that was negative with something positive. And of course, any extra care. So I want you to evaluate all those things in your life. Number 7, what have you been doing daily for self-love, for love of your family? What about love of your house, your home? And what about love for humanity? Are you working on your love, giving love on a regular basis? So tell me what it is that you're doing. And when you spend some time and think about and evaluating what you're doing to improve your love. Number 8, what have you been doing daily to deal with your problems? Are you practicing meditation, developing some hope? What about forgiveness? Are you forgiving other people's mistakes? Are you forgiving your own mistakes? What about your creativity? Are you working on your creativity? What about your happiness? Are you empowering your faith? I want you to analyze those answers and wonder why you may not be doing some of those things. So this is the end of today. So after you've complete the step 6, the positive affirmation with all those 4 steps, right? I want you to work on really your evaluation. So in the summary, we're gonna do a little summary today. So first, we talk about we are creators. Our mind has power. You are in charge of your mind and your body, even though it may not feel so sometimes. But you are the one who creates everything that's happening to you right now. And you can start changing whatever it is that is not working properly in your body. And you have a source of power that is right there, right now, available for you. It's just about you connecting and tuning with this energy of self healing. So I want you to practice the 4 steps, right, for positive affirmations, and then have this final evaluation. For homework this week, you're going to continue doing your meditation or prayer You will work on your journaling. You start continue keeping notes and also look in your notes when you are in need of anything to help you improve, right? And you are not like in a bad mood, you're not feeling well, write it down what it is that makes you feel good and use that in your benefit. Practice tuning and listening, right? The superior power. Make sure you use those 4 steps that we mentioned before. Garden your thoughts, right? Your mind, it's like a garden where you have to plant the flowers you want to see and you have to remove what you don't want to see. The same way you would care for a garden, you would care also for your thoughts. It's interesting because sometimes we spend hours and hours in the garden, but we don't spend much time really gardening our own thoughts. You will practice the 4 steps for the positive affirmation that we learned this week. And after you finish everything, I want you to do your final evaluation. I want you to think back what is missing from all those steps that you learned throughout the last 6 weeks. Once you do that, you can start back again from step 1 and do the process all over again. You can go back to the videos. You can also, I will leave here below a link to the PowerPoints and other resources that you can use in pro of your success and pro of your self-healing. So this is not a process that you start and finish. This is a continuous development. The same way that, for example, you go to the gym, the first couple weeks or 3 weeks you go, it's going to be hard, it's going to be difficult, and you're not going to see any results. In order for you to start seeing muscles building, you have to really work for a few months in order to see the result. The same way with this process, you can expect that you are able to change everything in 6 weeks. That is not working for you right now. You start the process and then you go back and continue. It's the same way you would do a cycle with your muscles. You start with your arms and you do your legs and you do your abs. Right? Each week we did something. But then once you finish that, you go back and you start over again and you keep doing and improving in order for you to be successful. This is how you have to see this project. It is something that you started and maybe we improve a little bit, but it is not perfect yet. And we will never be perfect because we are all in development. You will have to continue practicing, and you will feel the results as you improve on a daily basis. I'm really happy to have you with me through the 6 weeks. Like you, I'm going to go back and start myself. There are several little steps that I failed. I can see now things with the evaluation. I had to do myself the evaluation too. So I had several steps like, oh, I missed that. I didn't do this as often as I should have done. So do your own evaluation and you restart the process as you feel like you can benefit from doing again. Remember, if you are interested and continue doing this project and learning about some other projects that I will be creating for this channel, make sure you like. And if this benefited you, share with some of your friends who could really use some of those ideas in order to find their own self-healing. Thank you for staying with me all this time. I have really learned a lot and improved myself. I hope that happened to you too. And from the bottom of my heart, I send to you all my positive energy, and I hope to see you soon again. All right? Take care.